Yes, guys, welcome back to another podcast. This is your host Pranav and co host Simran. We are back onto another podcast at Kickoff Conversations today on everything football. How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm doing great. I'm excited for this podcast today because it's going to be special. It's going to be our first time that we'll be joined by guests. So, yeah.
We'll be talking about the Arsenal versus Manchester United game. And it's a very, very big game this weekend for both the clubs. And the supporters that we have are diehard fans of the respective clubs. So, taking their opinion, taking their thoughts on the game, it's going to be something that is really exciting. I'm actually looking forward to the banter if there is going to be any banter between the two.
Exactly.
If not, then probably we'll have to spice things up in that
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah. Ready to do that. Yeah.
Right. So let's quickly dive on
Okay.
to the games that are happening in the Premier League, and then we'll get on to the La Liga. Within the Premier League,
Okay.
we've got Luton Town versus West Ham, which is going to be the first game. I'm really excited about this because Luton Town is going to be playing at their home turf. They've just managed to get their new stadium built. I'm looking forward to that because Luton Town, after getting promoted, this is their first home game, and that too against West Ham. West Ham being given the form that they've been in recently, they've been doing exceptionally well. My prediction for West Ham versus Brighton went horribly wrong. You can probably see that podcast in the link mentioned above,
Yes.
and so have a look at that. I think West Ham is going to win this game against Luton, but you can never tell. Luton's playing at home, so it's going to be a big game for them. Moving on to Chelsea versus Nottingham, this is going to be a game that's worth watching. As a Chelsea fan, I would like to see how we go up against a team that is being, troublesome for some of the big clubs in the Prem. I'm hoping for a Chelsea win. Quick overview of the rest of the games. I think we've got Burnley versus Tottenham, which is another, decent game. I think Tottenham might win it, but you can never tell with Burnley and Vincent Company. Moving on to Brighton versus Newcastle, another big, big game in the Premier League this weekend. I'm hoping for a Newcastle win. I want the Toons to actually go up and take this confidence with them after they've got drawn into a very tough group in the UCL draw, which we'll probably get to. Another big game I would say is Liverpool versus Aston Villa, and that could go either way. Unai Emery is, he really brings something special to the table. What he's done with Aston Villa is also superb. So that'll be an exciting game. Last but not least, let's address the elephant in the room. That's what the podcast is all about today. We are going to be talking about Arsenal versus Man United. We've got two very enthusiastic people with us, the people that support their clubs through and through, and we'll be having them as well on shortly. So take it away.
Yeah, for the La Liga games, what will happen is first there is Real Madrid versus Getafe, and Real Madrid will be playing their first game of the season in Santiago Bernabeu. As we know that it is renovating since the last 3 years, it's still not done completely, but it's about to be complete and it's going to be magnificent. So we are looking forward to that and hoping for a win. I guess we will be winning it because we are in a good uh, winning run right now. We have won the first three games, and I don't want to break the streak. So there's
Right.
that. The second game is between Atletico and Sevilla, with Sevilla 0 points, 3 games, and Atletico winning the last game 7-0. I guess you might know that which team is gonna come with a lot of confidence and which team is, going to have to do their best because it is a do or die situation for Sevilla. But at the other hand, Atletico are looking like they might win it, and Sevilla will be in really, really deep trouble. And the last game that is going to happen is between Barcelona and Osasuna. Osasuna are at sixth place right now in the league table, and Barcelona are at fourth place. Osasuna has had a good start, and they do bring their A game. They do make it difficult for the other team to score against them or to win against them. But Barcelona are also just they have just begun to win the games, and their Lewandowski has started to score again. So I do see Barcelona winning, but I'm praying and hoping that they fumble and lose it because it will be easier for us then. So
Right.
there's all for La Liga. No big clash going on. So we'll have to wait for that. The El Clasico or the Madrid Derby are far away at this point.
Moving on, I would like to bring on a player, a person that I know very well. He and I both have played football together for quite a few number of years now, full of stats, full of facts. So just going to introduce Gagan to the stream. Hi, Gagan. Welcome
Hey,
aboard. Just give you a quick overview. Statman Gags is what I would like to call him because he always will hurt you with facts and stats. So, Gagan, are you excited for the game that is going to happen?
yeah, very excited, expecting a high scoring game. It's always
Yeah,
been a high scoring game.
right.
Last four fixtures, both teams have scored. The home team has scored three, so yeah, expecting a high scoring one. And both
Yeah.
teams have to prove a point.
Second team, of course, I'd like to bring on Shreyas Pillai, who has been, very shy guy in my experience, as he doesn't talk much on the field. He lets his feet do the talking. Welcome, Shreyas. Welcome to the stream.
Thank you. Thank you, Pranav. Excellent.
So, how do you feel? What do you think is going to happen this weekend?
I mean, it's going to be a really interesting match. I'm confident about United because they have been a bit shaky in the last game and against Wolves, and they lost to Spurs, obviously. But I'm confident. I think they have a few injuries, like to their starting players, but I think they can overcome that with they have enough squad depth to overcome that. And I'm excited to see what the situation is Hoyland. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pretty confident. I think United is a good
that's
shot.
that's something that I think a lot of people, have started comparing it with Haaland just because the names are similar, but they're poles apart as players. But I can understand the excitement coming from your end. I think United are looking a little better in terms of squad depth. But I want to move on to the Arsenal fan. Okay, so Gagan, given the fumbles start towards the start of the season, do you think your team on paper looks stronger, or is it better on the field?
See, on paper, it's definitely strong, but it's always, on the day of the game, how the team performs. Like, we have big names, we have signed some big names. Havertz has come in, Rice, then we got Raya, then of course Timber, but he got injured, which is very sad. In the preseason, he was really good. Wanted him to play the entire season, but let's hope he recovers. But yeah, the current players who are there, who are fit, they have a point to prove. Last season, of course, we were, called bottlers. We couldn't win the league. But yeah, that's sad. But yeah, this season, I hope we manage to, win the title. We have the squad depth. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I completely agree. This season you do have the squad depth. I think that will help you fuel, the team to carry forward during, when Champions League kicks in. When you do have the domestic cups to play for, you have that squad depth. Just hoping that you don't have any major injuries to face with. I know Timber getting injured was a big major blow to your team. He was really exciting during the preseason to what I saw of, and what he could bring to the table was something different. But let's hope. So I just want to head dive onto the head-to-head stats. Who do you think at Arsenal has a better record? Do you think Man United or Arsenal? Gagan?
So in the last 5 games, Arsenal have won four at home, and there's been one draw. United haven't won. As I mentioned before, it isn't, you can't predict results. I mean, you can predict results because you can't say anything for sure. It's
Right,
always about what happens on the game day. Arsenal
right,
have been good. United have been equally good. ETH has been, doing the job for your United. The fans are happy. But
right.
yeah, Arteta on the other hand,
He's
he's
doing
asked
a
us to
he's doing a
trust the
super
process.
job. Right, right.
Yeah,
I
yeah, for
absolutely
sure.
agree. I absolutely agree. I think Arteta has done a tremendous job in terms of building a team. Eric Ten Hag, on the other hand, he's pulled out, rabbit out of a hat, and he's made things work for United. I'm sorry to see, how Ronaldo was not treated right.
Yeah,
He was
don't bring
probably,
that up. It brings memories. It
yeah, but
hurts.
But
Let's
but
let's skip that.
uh, it was one of, it was a difficult decision, but it was one which had to be taken. because
Yeah, and in terms of for Ronaldo also, I think it was the best decision for him also because with him
yeah,
going to Saudi and this sudden surge of players from Europe to Saudi happening, Ronaldo has gained his confidence, which will help him in the upcoming Euro and the national team games. So it has been good for both the Manchester United squad and also for Ronaldo. So yeah,
Right. Shreyas, what
but
do
the
you
way he
think?
went out,
What do
See,
you
I
think,
think it
Shreyas?
was. See, the thing with Ronaldo, he's such a powerful influence, and he was not even willing to like sit on the bench for like 10 minutes of a single game. Like he even did that to Ole once against Everton, where he just,
yeah,
walked off, and he was so
walked
frustrated.
off.
But he had to realize that he was 37, and you can't play every game. But I think Ten Hag made the right
He
decision.
did that to Zidane too. So like that's what he is. That's what he does. He did that to Zidane too when he was being called off in his last season for Real Madrid. So he gets really frustrated, and he has always been like that. I don't think he acknowledges his age for that matter.
Yeah, which I want to
So
actually
that's true.
address, Shreyas. Do you think it was a right call for United to part ways with someone who was that influential, that with of that caliber? I mean, Ronaldo. We all know what Ronaldo brings to the pitch. We all know what he's capable of doing. He can turn the. He's one of those clutch players. He can turn the game around if he has to. Right? Do you think it was the right decision for Eric Ten Hag to let him go?
No, what you said about the clutch thing is 100% right. I would have seen the thing was I would have really liked him to stay, but then he also needed to understand that he was not maybe going to be the starting striker because
Yeah,
who else do you want other than Ronaldo in a European competition? Like he's just
yeah,
that good. And then, but then I just felt that things like he didn't have a full preseason, so he missed the entire preseason. Then after that, he was not looking fit in matches and all. And then
yeah.
Ten Hag
yeah.
decided to go a different route. And then but I think it was right for both people. I think Ronaldo is now happy in Saudi. So yeah, I mean I can't
Yeah,
really.
he's doing exceptionally well. Simran being a hardcore Ronaldo fan, the money
Paisa
talks.
hi paisa.
I think the Ronaldo effect played a major role as well for a lot of players
Yeah,
to
it did.
go across. They knew they were even though they were only 32, 33 years old in their prime, could actually produce a
Neymar
lot.
being 31.
31 actually, right? I think the money played off a big factor there. They knew they could
Yeah.
Of course.
settle their future for the rest of so many generations to come. So, I just wanted to ask, since when we spoke about clutch players, Gagan, who do you think for Arsenal is a clutch player?
Odegaard has to be.
Yeah,
The day he's playing, we are winning. I rate
you
him
can tell
higher
he's
than
a very
Saka.
unpredictable player, right?
Sorry.
Yeah,
He's a very
Odegaard.
unpredictable player, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. He's a
Yeah, I
pass
can vouch
master.
for him too. Yeah, because we were heartbroken when he left because he wasn't willing to, sit on the bench and be behind the famous KCM, Cruz, Casemiro, and Modric. He wanted to start, he wanted to play the games, but we wanted him to, be at the bench, be there for us. But he wanted something else, so we had to part ways. But yeah, it is a huge blow, but it was a huge blow for us to miss him out because he has been doing great in Arsenal.
And he's
I
still
think,
so young. He
yeah,
has
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
much.
what I wanted to say. Yeah,
He's so
he's
young.
and given the captaincy armband, I think he's taken that
yeah.
responsibility onto his
Yeah, yeah.
shoulders. He's doing a good job. I've seen him in a couple of games where, on his day, he's unbeatable. He can turn the game around. Absolutely right. I think he's the best clutch player that Gagan can talk about. What do you think, Shreyas? Who do you think is your clutch player this season?
For us, I think it's only two options. I think it's Rashford and Bruno. Like, I mean, I'm not going to comment on Hoyland because he's not even played a single minute, so not for me. But yeah, Rashford is our like last season we were completely reliant on him. So if he's going to be our see the thing with Bruno, why I say clutch is because he creates so many chances, and our finishing is bad. So if Bruno has a good day and Rashford is there, I think these two other guys who I really hope turn up.
Right, right. I
See,
can,
if
I
we are
can.
saying two, I mentioned Saka as well. He's just
Yeah.
21. He just won PFA Young Player of the Year, and just 21, which is very important, for a
Right.
21-year-old who has been carrying us, you know, and the
In
Yeah.
fact,
goal
he
he
carried
scored,
England also to
he,
some point, right? I mean,
yeah,
he is a clutch player
and
for
and
sure.
the goal he scored in game week 1 versus Nottingham Forest, what a goal!
That was amazing goal. And Shaz, I wanted to emphasize on Bruno Fernandes. I feel more than Rashford. I know you depended a lot on Rashford because you barely had Sancho around. and in terms of strikers having to put the ball at the back of the net, I think he was the only player that was doing that for you last season, right? Bruno Fernandes this season, I feel he is extremely passionate. He's very creative. The chances that he creates for your team, I think he can turn the game around for you guys. He's the only player on that squad that will turn the game around for you. And I think I think was he the only player that was given the captaincy armband, or was that? Do you think there's another captain for the team?
No, I think there were a few. I mean, there were a few considerations. I think Varane could have been one, Casemiro could have
Yeah.
been one, but I think Bruno. The reason I think why is because not just like you said about he turns matches, he turned our fortunes around. Like under Ole, we were losing to Burnley and not at home. This guy walked in Jan, I think on the transfer deadline day, and he we finished third that season. And then, I mean, we had a bad season under 21, 22, but then Bruno just completely changed everything about our club. And then I think he really deserves, like, he's really underappreciated because of his antics, which rival fans obviously do not like. But I think people don't even like understand. Like, Kevin De Bruyne himself said it. He's the most creative midfielder, and you can see the stats.
Yeah.
I don't. He has the most created chances in the
He has
league.
the highest XA in the league right now, expected
Yeah, and
assists. So you see
it's
how badly United needs a striker.
striker, yeah. And I mean, if you have Weghorst up front, it doesn't really help to, that's
Yeah.
been a problem. We don't have a striker. So even for, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, so Bruno is just
Bruno
really
has been that player. I think in the last game also he really turned things around for you
the cat.
guys.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Extremely passionate. You could see he's motivating the team. He's pushing the team, and I
But
think,
I'd like to mention something about the previous Arsenal United game.
hmm,
The lineups, the starting 11. United's lineup is going to be very different. And Arsenal's lineup, I think, if we go with a proper standard lineup, only Xhaka goes out and Havertz or Rice comes in. Rice has to be there, or Partey will
right,
go out, something like that. But United's lineup is going to be very different. So many players will be sitting out from that team which we played last time.
interesting. So coming to that, where do you see your teams? I know it's too early to say, but who do you think is going to be higher than each other this season?
I mean, see, I have a lot of confidence in United finishing well because what I think the main thing that they have done, United, we all talk about squad depth, fine, but the main thing is they have completely upgraded the starting 11. People don't realize
Right,
how big of an upgrade Andre Onana is on De Gea. Like, he's a club legend that's in the past. Onana is a huge upgrade. When everyone is fit, we have a few injuries. Mason Mount, I think, is really going to improve our team over. I mean, Fred is an outgoing. Then Amrabat also is a superb signing who can cover
Superb signing.
defensively. His out in possession, he's press resistant. He's just that good. So I think we have really upgraded our, like, the midfield was a big problem for us, always has been. Now we can go with many options in midfield. It can be Casemiro, Amrabat, and Bruno, or it could be Casemiro, could be a replacement. Like Amrabat can also play as a number 6. So we have more variety. That Rasmus Højlund, I really think that he has a lot of potential. Like, I have watched him play for Atalanta, and he has explosive pace. He has all the instincts that you need in a striker. He's that
okay,
good. But his numbers, I know, I mean, people will say he has 9 goals in 32 games and all, and I don't really focus on that part because a lot of them were bench appearances, and he doesn't play in a great Atalanta team. So, but I think he has really good predictory instincts. Like, he's really that good. But
so
I'm excited for our season. So
where do you think above Arsenal?
it's tough to say, but if I had to pick right now, yeah, I would say I think United can have a higher chance of finishing than Arsenal. Just to
Very
add a small
very
point, see, the thing with Arsenal is they are, of course, they have been in the project longer and they have such a good, system and everything going on process, which I understand. But I think that they haven't, like I said, significantly upgraded the starting 11. Like Declan Rice is, yeah, he's just that good. I'll give him that. But then Havertz, I don't think he helps Arsenal at all. That's my opinion. And what do you say? David Raya is also good signing, but again, Ramsdale. So that's very close. It's not a statement signing in my view. And then Timber was quality, so he's injured. So that's the big blow for Arsenal. So
right.
Rice for Xhaka
So,
is really the main change.
so
Like
above
if I,
Arsenal, right?
yeah,
That's
I
what
would
you're
say
saying.
above Arsenal. Yeah, if I have to
Do you,
go,
do
I
you
would say
think then do you think Gagan, do you think you would you like to agree to that, or do you think you're going to be way above Man United
Because
probably
Pranav,
winning the league this
because
time.
Pranav thinks that Arsenal might win the Premier League this season.
Yeah, that's
He's
my
thinking
prediction.
right, no?
Uh, but you can never tell, right? I'm be very frank with you. I think Arsenal has the capability of going up there. But my opinion
See,
is
it's,
mine.
Yeah,
I
win
would
it,
want to know
guys. I
what
mean, how long are you gonna let City win it? It's been too long. Change the
exactly.
winners.
So, Gagan, what do you think? Do you think you're going to win the league this time, or do you going to probably finish above United? What is your opinion?
See, first of all the teams want to, do better than last season. So better for us is winning the league. So winning the league would obviously mean we'll finish above United. So yeah, we will.
So, but this is
I
one
feel we
very
will.
yeah, it's one very generalizing thing to say. But what I have always observed for Arsenal is that they start the season really bang on. It has been for several years. And then the Christmas break comes, and then the second half of the season starts, and they start dropping points. So it
Right.
has been like that for Arsenal for too long now. So I hope that they do better this time.
So let's hope that Arsenal do happen to go above, or we'd love to see Man United, reach a second spot. But in your opinion, guys, who do you think, if it were not for Arsenal or United, who do you think this season is probably going to end up winning the league?
I
Shreyas?
think it's unanimous. I think it's City.
Uh,
I think they
We
win
all
the
know the
league.
answer.
Yeah, I think they win the league regardless. Like I think the quality that they have
Yeah.
signed with Doku, Nunez, and it's just incredible. Like Guardiola, it's just
Guardiol, I mean,
yeah,
what a
it's
sign.
just incredible that the players that they add,
Oh,
like they lost Gundogan, Mahrez, and all, but Pep is relentless basically, and he's not
Yes.
going to like let go of the league. And I don't think it's tough for any team to challenge as far as there. So him screaming at Haaland in the first game of the or second game of the season just showed you that how much he really was frustrated, and that's I think after Haaland scored a brace. So he's just yeah, it's going to be tough to
Exactly.
stop that team.
Gagan, what do you think?
it's City. I'm
City?
actually tired saying City, City, City. It's always City. Last
Yeah.
season they were 12 points behind us. It was so close, but again, City, Pep, fucking masterclass.
Yeah.
Right.
I think as long as Pep is there, it is going to be very difficult for any other team to win it because him with his league records, like it's very difficult to beat him.
Yeah, I've actually happened to see one of
Like we
his.
have suffered that with him being at Barcelona. We have
I mean,
suffered the Pep Barcelona era, and I
Exactly.
don't
Yeah.
want that. I don't want to even remember that era. It was really bad for even with Cristiano Ronaldo, Kaká, and Benzema and all those star signings, we weren't good enough to beat Pep's Barcelona. So yeah.
Sorry, yes,
I mean, what it
Gagan.
does to players, Stones, if you just take him as an example, Stones, when he started his career, couldn't play with his with feet. He would just clear the ball. And last season, he's played in midfield. He's been scoring goals, he's been assisting, he's been a proper CDM.
Right.
You can call him a box to box also, like the way he's played. And if you see Stone's start of the career, he could never even pass, he couldn't play from the back.
He does that to players, and we've seen
Yeah,
that
yeah,
in the
for
likes
sure.
of Kevin De Bruyne. We've seen that in the likes of
And
Bernardo
signing
Silva. Akanji was amazing.
Yeah.
Akanji, what a signing!
He's an absolute rock. I think he'll probably do the same with Guardiola this season. He'll give him time to settle in. He understands that we got a lot of cups and games to play. I think he partnering up with Ruben Diaz in the defense is going to be absolutely solid. I mean, going up against these two players, any team striker would
And
fail.
I would, like to tell Shreyas about the Raya point, which you'd mentioned. For
Right.
any team to succeed, you need a second goalkeeper. You see Manchester City, Ortega. He's a carbon copy of Edison.
Yeah.
He's a carbon
But
copy. Whatever
okay,
Edison does, Ortega is doing it. So, and I feel Raya is better with his feet than Ramsdale, which we'll see in domestic competitions. So whenever in the league Raya gets his opportunity,
no, I agree with that. Competition is needed, but if you look at the teams that have dominated or won the Premier League, yeah, Ortega is really good. But if you look at the past Chelsea teams, like Czech was a standout number one. If you look at the United teams, you had Schmeichel, you had Van der Sar. Okay, then you look at that Liverpool team. Allison has been the clear number one. So in my view, yeah, I do agree. You need competition for that squad as that spot as well. But I
It's
feel
not even about competition, it's about, having a second goalkeeper to play in the domestic competitions. That's one of the most
maybe.
important points.
But this, I think, happened with Arsenal a couple of seasons ago as well when they had Leno, and then they brought
Yeah.
on, they bought this one. What's it called?
Rams.
So many previous Arsenal goalkeepers are playing in the Premier League. Fabianski, Leno, Martinez, all are first choice goalkeepers.
And all
Keepers.
are playing for different clubs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Guys, I wanted to ask. Okay, so I mean, given the number of injuries you guys have, your teams have had, where do you honestly feel? What team actually do you honestly feel is the best suited for Arsenal in terms of injuries? Ke saath, if that person wasn't injured and was playing in the current squad, what formation would you go for? What team do you think would be ideal? Just give me a quick rundown, Shreyas.
For United, so see, I think with Shaw, Mount, and Varane out, so I think Onana, Van Bissaka, Martinez, Lindelof, and Dallo will be a starting backline. So now the thing is that Ten Hag has said that Region is trained with the team, but I don't expect him to start. So I think Dallo starts. In midfield, I think it's going to be Casemiro, Ericsson, and Bruno. And then up front, he's going to go with, I think, Rashford, Anthony. And it's interesting. He said Hoyland is ready to start the game, but I don't think he will start him. So I think maybe he might, I hope Sancho gets some time on the left so that Rashford plays up, but maybe
Right.
he starts Garnacho. But that's, I think, what Ten Hag will do. Ideally, I would prefer to have a four-man midfield because Arsenal's strength in midfield is so good with if Rice, I mean, if depends on where Arteta plays Partey, but if he comes in the center, you have Rice, Odegaard, and Partey, and then Zinchenko is so good as an inverted fullback. So that adds even more bodies in that midfield. So I would like to see a 4-4-2, but I doubt Ten Hag play. He always prefers to play Anthony on the right. So that's what I think. He'll play a 4-3-3.
4-3-3. And what about you, Gagan? What do you think would be the best suited, best 11
See, I
for
can
us?
predict a lineup. I can predict a lineup, but Arteta's lineups are becoming very unpredictable, like Pep. So I'll just tell you 11, which I think no, we should be playing. But let's see. Ramsdale in goal.
Hmm.
So this is without injuries or with injuries?
With injuries.
Without
With
with
injuries.
injuries.
No, no.
So I'll
With,
pick
with.
Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Zinchenko. Partey and Rice. Odegaard, Martinelli, Saka, and Jesus is not fit, so Eddie or
Interesting.
Havertz comes in.
Do you think Havertz is, do you think he's worth that 60 million price tag this season?
Honestly, no,
No? Do you think he fits your
not
style?
60. I mean, it's too early to say. It's just been 3 games.
Yeah. I mean, a
At
lot
least
of people
after
started.
18, 20 games, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people did actually, started mocking him during the MLS preseason where he played against the All Stars and he actually tanked one of those objectives that they do
Yeah,
before.
but in the next game, he scored
And then
the
he scored, so he
volley.
kind of revived his, image, which is, which was
Yeah.
good. But then I just wanted to like, understand from an Arsenal perspective that do you think he fits that team? So thanks for letting me know. We'd like to, move on to the last
The
thing,
combined 11.
combined 11 that we would
Yeah.
like to know from both you guys starting.
First,
Let's start
let
with
them agree upon a
the
क्या बोलते
formation,
हैं?
the
Form.
formation.
Yeah. The formation.
What do you think the
I
formation should be?
What do
I
you
think
think the
four three
formation should be?
three. I think it's going to be a 4-3-3. I think for both.
To
Yeah,
fit
4-3.
all the. Okay, so let's start from the back, I guess.
Best 11 for this
Yeah,
game.
best 11. Yeah.
Okay.
No
Yeah,
injuries.
so
Okay.
no injuries. Okay.
Yeah.
No injuries makes it even trickier.
So
Yeah,
let's do
that's why
goalkeeper
I
first.
that's why I said it. So goalkeeper, who do you think fits?
See, for me, it has
I,
to be
I'm going to
Ramsdale.
back Andre Onana. No, I'm going to back Andre Onana on this. And I think even Arteta would like for someone and who loves playing out from the back, who needs that goalkeeper. I'm not going to say Ramsdale is bad, but last season towards the end, he made many errors, which led to straight goals. So, and I'm not saying he's bad with his feet. He's good with his feet, but Onana is in a different league. When you watch him play with his
Ramsdale
left
just made
hand,
it to the PFA Team of the Year.
which also, yeah, but to be honest, I mean, I don't think so. But that doesn't mean I don't think he's what do you say, I mean, that's like De Gea won the Golden Glove, so that doesn't mean that he's, in my view,
I
like the
mean,
best
he
keeper
is.
in the league. I don't think Ramsdale is better than Alisson or Ederson. Like, it's not even close. But then, no, I would of course go with Onana. He had the most clean sheets in the Champions League last season with Inter Milan. So, and he was brilliant in the finals as well. But then, of course, they lost. But he was brilliant for them, and he's,
They
you
lost
know,
because of
he's
Lukaku. So
yeah, so exactly. So he had some 8 clean sheets in the Champions League itself, 7 to 8 clean sheets. That's remarkable with that Inter Milan team. So I would
But
prefer
he's
Andre
very error
Onana.
prone, right?
yeah,
Onana.
you guys have to come to a
You guys have to
agreement
come to
here.
like a proper consensus.
Yeah.
No, but
But
Yeah,
then
this is like
see,
what
there are 11 players, so someone will have to
I will
compromise.
concede
It's
on
just
some.
a
I'll
bit.
concede
I
on some
I
points.
let's
think
No
I
doubt.
think we should move to the defense, and we can fit the keeper
So,
later.
okay. Let's do
okay,
that. Let's do
okay, we
that.
can do that. Okay,
Okay, we
the
have back
center back
four
pair, I
now.
guess we can start with
Whoever has
that.
less players, we'll put Onana.
Sure, okay, let's
Okay,
do that.
okay.
Okay,
Okay.
the center
Um,
back pairing, let's
center
go.
back pairing. Yes.
Has to be Saliba. Has to be there.
Yeah, Saliba, I'll concede. I think he
I
has to
mean,
be there. He's
last
been
season
brilliant.
League One team of the season, the last season Premier League team of the season. I mean, there's no
Saliba.
debate.
And
Yeah, I'll go
And
Shreyas.
then
Saliba.
who
And
will
I
be
would go for I would
accompanying?
go for see the thing is I would go for Varane or Martinez, but Martinez plays the left centre back position. So I would go for Martinez. I think people don't understand how good he is. Like everyone said he's too short and all, but when they actually watch him on the ball and
He's
his
mental. He's
I
like
think
the
No,
next
I agree.
Gattuso.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, even I feel
I
he's
would
like the
go for
next
Martinez.
Gattuso. I agree to that. Yeah, he's a very
Yeah.
solid defender.
So it's
So
done.
we'll
The
put
center back pairing
Now
is
the
done.
Martinez.
So
Done.
Martinez and
Yeah, we'll
Saliba
put
in the
Mart
center back pairing.
Good, good.
Now the
It's
right
good
back.
enough.
Right back, I'll
Timber.
concede this. I think
Timber.
uh, yeah, I don't think or he could even go for White, so I can't really make an argument
Yeah,
for any.
Timber White.
Although
Okay,
Wan
so
Bissaka, I'm just going to give a shout out. He's improved dramatically since coming. Like people thought he just can't play with his feet, and now he's some. I don't know what Ten Hag has done, but he's really improved. But yeah, I'll concede the right back part.
So
so
you get the
it's
keeper.
okay.
No, we have just started.
That we get regardless. That we're getting regardless. So
Okay.
So
So for the
So
left
yeah,
back,
I would go with
we
Luke
have
Shaw.
Zinchenko.
And
Luke Shaw, yeah. Luke Shaw has to be Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw. Okay, so we've got an Arsenal. I think it's a
they are
bit
doing it
mix of
50-50, right?
50-50. Very diplomatic, guys. Very diplomatic.
Very diplomatic. Yeah.
Let's
The
get to the
midfield.
three midfielders. Who do you think? The first center midfield.
Declan.
yeah, I think Rice has to be there. I'll give him that. He's been so good for West Ham, and like he's been the captain, and he's been so good for like 2 3 years consistently. So I'll concede Rice, no doubt about it.
Okay. What about the
But
right center
but
midfield?
I'm going with Casemiro. I don't think people don't
Exactly.
realize how
Like
good Casemiro is with Rice next to him. I think Casemiro
But then
people
we
just
have to
look at
change the formation.
exactly because Casemiro
okay,
and
so
Rice cannot fit in the same formation.
yeah, you
I would
play a
have
double
gone with
pivot.
Casemiro, but like I would have gone with Casemiro though because he has more. What do you say? I'm not.
Physicality.
Let's yeah, physicality and he has won 5
So
Champions
are we
League.
going with two
He is
CDM?
he is
Yeah,
a
we
winner.
can.
No. We are going with the 4-3-3. So it's Rice or Casemiro. You guys can decide. It's okay.
I mean, see, the thing with Rice, I would definitely have to pick one. I'll go with Casemiro, no doubt, because I think Rice is still, of course, a quality player, but I
See,
still
I
want to see.
might, I might just concede the keeper, but Rice has to be there.
Okay, so
No,
let's
but
Or
let's
we can
hold
change
that.
the
Let's hold that
formation.
thought. Let's
Let's
hold
or
that
we
thought.
can change the
let's put that
formation
on
actually.
hold.
Yeah, if
Like
we have a
what he
center
said.
if we have a center midfield, we'll go with Declan, Rice, or Casemiro. We'll discuss.
Casemiro.
We'll get back to
Yeah.
this. Right midfield and left midfield quickly.
Bruno Fernandes, I think he's
Yeah.
without question in that. I would put him without question. I think he gets into this combined 11. I don't think it's much of a debate. I think
Yeah,
he's just
that's true.
he's
You
just that
won't
good.
And
you
Odegaard,
Bruno.
I guess.
do you think
And
Odegaard?
Odegaard.
Bruno and Odegaard, yeah.
Yeah,
That was easy.
definitely.
Bruno and Odegaard.
So we've got
Okay, front
Bruno,
three.
Odegaard, and now between in the center midfield, we've got a mix opinion,
I
right?
think the wingers has to be Rashford and Saka.
Yeah, no doubt. I think
So
both.
diplomatic, no?
How
Yeah,
diplomatic
no,
you
this.
guys.
Yeah.
No, but
No, no, it has
yeah,
to
I mean,
be.
Saka is just that
I
good.
think, like we can debate about it, but we are going to end up at Rashford and Saka. I just feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's.
So I like how Gagan
And the
cut it really
striker,
short. So who do you think is kind of taking that the striker role in the 4-3-3?
Eddie.
See, I
You
think
concede?
I have to give it to Eddie because I mean we don't really have a striker. I think Hoyland is going to be much better than Eddie. No, I don't think. But I mean he's doing well, Eddie. So I have to concede that because he's not played a single
Yeah,
minute.
because of current form.
Okay. Okay, so now the goalkeeper and the debate between Rice and Casemiro.
See, the thing with right
Who
now,
will
maybe I'll
concede?
concede the Rice point is because
I mean, what's
Casemiro
the
is not
lineup till
doesn't
now?
have the legs to
It's
So
like
we've
how
got.
you.
I'll give you a quick lineup, guys. So
yeah.
the goalkeeper spot is open. We've got Ben White, Saliba, Martinez, and Luke Shaw. And then in the midfield, we've got Bruno Fernandes and Odegaard, which is left and right. And then you've got Declan and Casemiro in the center, which you guys have to let me know who do you feel is perfect. Up front, we've got Rashford, Eddie, and Saka.
So I think I'll concede Casemiro as good as he is. I think Rice is able to cover ground so easily, so he can actually play as the lone six. Whereas Casemiro has struggled this season playing as the lone six. So
Yes.
I think I'll concede the Rice point. I think he's really
Yeah, yeah,
he could play
wow.
as a lone six very easily. So
So
I
now
like
I
how you've not
see
even given
Gagan
the
cons.
opportunity for Gagan to actually say something. He's just like, okay, but I will go for the goalkeeper.
So
no,
Okay,
no,
Rice.
so I feel
No goal.
so
Yeah,
like
sorry.
so goalkeeping position goes to Onana, I guess, because I think Gagan will concede.
No,
Like
it's not even.
le
No,
lo.
it's not about compromise. Onana is definitely better than Ramsdale. Has got relegated with Sheffield and all. He's a good goalkeeper. Is he a great goalkeeper? I don't think he is.
Exactly.
I think
That's what
Raya is going to be a
he's
better.
got relegated thrice. He's got
Yeah, I
relegated thrice,
mean,
not once, thrice. But
right.
see the mentality. Bottled the league as well. We can count that also. But still,
oh wow. So we've come to a
Okay.
consensus. We got
I
rid
mean,
of
he's
Onana.
not the England number one because all the Southgate politics for Pickford. I feel if Pickford even he gets relegated, he'll be the England number one until there's a new manager. But yeah, Ramsdale deserves to be the England number one as well. I mean, if Ramsdale was the England number one, he was walking into this combined 11. But okay,
Yeah,
I think I'll concede
I'm
this
not going
one.
to agree on that because I mean, being the starting keeper for England, fine. I mean, they not that. I mean, Nick Pope is good, but they don't have, like you said, Southgate is just picks his favorites. But I mean, when you watch
He
Onana, it's
just
just that you can
he
he
picked
changes the
Maguire
entire
for
dynamic.
the
Yes, I mean that is just his
without
favoritism.
Maguire
So
didn't
guys,
even
guys,
play.
quickly. I'm sorry to stop you guys there. We're really crunching on time here, but quickly, I want to know your predictions. Who do you think is going to win this game?
Away
Uh,
team.
I'm
You
going to
can
go for
start the
a.
prediction. You can't win the game.
No, my honest prediction is I think it's going to be a draw. Like I would go for that. I would not say I'm not going to be. See, United's record at the Emirates doesn't suggest like they have a really good chance, but I think a draw is very much a good like
Score,
possibility.
what will be the score? A 0-0 to I don't think so will be happening. So what
Impossible.
will
No,
be
I
the
think it
score?
will be. I think
Impossible.
it'll be 2-2 or something.
Okay.
2-2. Gagan.
So Shreyas thinks it's 2-2. What about Gagan? He'll be going for a win, I
Eh,
guess.
Yeah, of course. But I'm not sure how Arteta names his 11 because last three games have been very dicey. Like
Go
the
with your
fans have
gut.
predicted a lineup.
Go with your
I
gut feeling.
think
What
two
would
one
it be?
or
Go with your
or three
gut.
one,
Like
3-1 Arsenal, 3-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect,
Okay.
perfect. So, guys,
Perfect.
given the fact that you both your teams are in the Champions League and we've just had the UCL draw, what do you guys think about your groups? Shreyas?
I mean, we got Bayern Munich, so that's going to be hard. But I think the rest two are pretty easy. Copenhagen and Galatasaray. I don't think United should have break much of a sweat. Even
You've got
Bayern
the
is
Turkish Giants and you've got the Denmark champions, right?
Champions.
that
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, given
Yeah,
United's
but luckily
quality, I
no.
don't think
But
they'll
like
get one.
Manchester United have to worry if only they get Spanish teams. So there's no Spanish team here. So I guess
Yeah,
they'll be okay.
yeah,
They'll be
and
okay.
I, yeah, hopefully
And
not
luckily
Sevilla.
no
Definitely.
young boys.
Yeah,
uh,
young
young
boys
boys
also.
really made it tough for you guys, weren't they?
Yeah.
What about you, Gagan? What do you think about your group?
Oh my God. I think we are returning to Champions League after ages. So we got Sevilla, PSV, and Lens. Sevilla in European competitions are a tough team, but I think we'll
Yeah.
get points. And PSV and Lens shouldn't be an issue.
Because
The
sorry,
bench,
sorry.
what the players which we use.
Right. I think Sevilla, as you rightfully said, Sevilla in Europe is they
European
do very
competitions
well.
are a different beast.
They do very well. Even if they bottle the Champions League, Europa League, they're dominated. They
Yeah.
do exceptionally well, and we've seen their records, right? So that'll be one tough game. PSG also, of course, unpredictable with what they're bringing on board. And do you think Arsenal are going to top the group?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
What
think.
about you, Shreyas? Do you think you'll come first or second?
I think it depends on the game at the Allianz Arena. Like Bayern is strong there, but at Old Trafford, I think we can beat them. See, the thing with Bayern is they are a little shaky right now. Like they lost 3
Yeah.
0 to Leipzig, so
Yeah, they
they are
are
not the
not the
same Bayern.
8-2 team right now. So they're not the 8-2 team they did to
Yeah,
Barcelona.
so
So
but
Yeah.
it's
Harry
not going to
Kane
happen.
is a scary proposition. When
And
you
they
add
just signed João
Yeah,
Palina
yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah.
yeah another quality player, so yeah, it depends on the Allianz Arena. But I think we have a chance to top the group. But if I have to be honest, I think we'll come second in that group. So
Okay. Let's talk about the group of death. Which group do you think is the group of death? For me, I guess it has to be poor Newcastle,
group F, yeah.
PSG, Dortmund, and AC Milan. Like this
That
has
group is
been the
actually
group
Group
of
F.
death.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's actually
Press F.
F is there. Yeah, right. So who do you think will top this group? If you have to guess, Shreyas?
I would really
I
love.
would
Let's go
uh,
go with Gagan. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, go.
go ahead.
I would really like to see Newcastle top the group. They have the bench to play.
Even against the rest of the
Okay.
teams in the group,
Yeah, for sure.
quality that
I would love for
PSG has.
PSG and Mbappe to go to the Europa League. Please make that happen. Like I'll be all on board with the way Mbappe has been like making us go behind them. So like, yeah, I'd love to see
But
it.
if I
But
have to,
Last season, if you all noticed, so the groups which had come out, people usually predict the top two. In four groups, the teams which were, supposed to, the people predicted that the teams would finish one and two, finish third and fourth in at least 4 to 5 groups. So usually this kind of thing happens in Europe. Let's
yeah,
see.
yeah,
I
it's
just hope
Champions
Newcastle do
League.
that.
Everyone brings
Yeah.
their A game here, so you can never tell.
but I think PSG is too strong because if Mbappe stays, that's the biggest dilemma. If you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
Mbappe,
They just
they're
signed
going to sign
Dembele and
Colomwani,
Kolomuani.
and you have Goncalo Ramos as well. So that's a scary
Oh
attack.
yeah.
And, and
Fuck.
then you
And
have
then
Luis
you
Enrique
have
as the
and
coach.
you have Asensio also doing all the hard
Asensio
work.
as well, yeah. Ugarte is a
Yeah,
good
Asensio
midfield
is
signing.
a super sub and he can change game around. Only as a super sub, okay. I don't see him doing
And
that well
and
as a starting 11.
Luis Enrique is a very experienced coach. He's won the Champions League with
Yeah.
Barca. So, yeah, I think PSG will top
Oh,
that group.
okay, so
And then
quickly,
followed with
top two. Top
Newcastle.
two. Like who
In
will
that
be
group,
going forward? Yeah, yeah, who
Let's
will
I
do
be
the
going
think
group.
forward?
Let's do the groups.
I would
Group
say
A, Mbappe,
PSG and uh, I I would I would say Dortmund. I think Dortmund will go through in
Okay.
that group.
and Group B.
And you, Gagan?
PSG Newcastle.
Okay. I'd also like to see Newcastle go forward, but let's see.
I know Arsenal United will do well in their respective groups. Teams like PSV, Eindhoven, and Sevilla, Galatasaray. These teams can give the bigger clubs a run for their money. But I'm looking at these guys doing well. Another English club being in there, I think Newcastle should do well, and I'm hoping that they do well in the Premier League as well.
So I guess that finishes the agendas that we had on our podcast.
Yeah,
And
and
we
it,
don't
it
have
was
also we
a
don't
Group
also
G
have
is the
much time.
toughest, by the way. Group G is the
oh
toughest, not F.
how come? Tell me.
Oh, we have Manchester City, Leipzig,
Yeah,
Young
the
Boys,
toughest group.
Ravenna.
Yeah,
What
as
do you think?
expected, City get a tough group. So So
Yeah. So, but I
Hopefully
think
they'll qualify.
City will. I think City will go through. City's been absolutely
They'll
dominant.
manage. It's a very tough group, but they'll manage.
They'll manage, of
Right.
course. We'll
Um,
also manage, of course.
Guys, I'd like to conclude the podcast. It
Yeah.
was an absolute pleasure having you guys on board with us today. It was really exciting to hear your thoughts on your teams. I hope Arsenal and United is one of those thrilling games we look forward to, and we'll obviously take your predictions for it. I hope Arsenal does well. I hope United do well, and thank you for joining in. So thank you guys for tuning in. It was an absolute pleasure, going through this. We had a great time with the folks. It was really fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are about the upcoming games.
Also,
Many,
you can do your predictions in the comment box because
yeah,
we'll be
we'd love to know what
uploading
your
it.
predictions is
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. And with that said, thank you for tuning in to Kick Off Conversations. This is your host Pranav and your co-host
Simran?
Simran today. But thank you so much
Yeah.
and take care.
Bye bye.